got into law school, first of all, I moved down to LA. I moved without a plan. I didn't have a job and I didn't have enough scholarship to be able to live. So I really just figured it out as I went. Don't do that. Unless God told you to. I would go to school from like 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then I would bus to the other side of LA, which if you know LA, it takes like hours to get anywhere. And then I would work from like 4 p.m. till 2 a.m. And then I would bus home and I would do that every day. And even then, I was barely making enough money to pay for rent. So I wasn't really eating. And I happened to work at a place that was a restaurant during the day. And it's so funny, like, even when you don't know God, like, just send people, destiny helpers, just so you can make it by. At the restaurant, every time I like came in, I would come in after we were supposed to do lunch, and he would always have a bowl of food waiting for me for no reason. Like I never talked to this man. It was just like, and that's what I would eat, honestly. And so I did that for about a year, and I was like, I can't do this. And then on top of that, my grades that semester were so bad that they revoked the scholarship I did have. So now I had no scholarship, and mind you, law school is like about $100,000 a year. So I had no scholarship, no money, and I couldn't like pay my apartment. So now I had no apartment. So for my second year of law school, I was homeless and I lived out of my car. And I would use like the school showers to shower to go to class. Nobody knew, and that's just how I grinded for a year. Because I was like, we just have to get by. We have to do it. And then that summer is the summer that I gave my life to Christ. So in that summer, the Lord rerouted everything, and He provided me with an opportunity. Which, mind you, this doesn't happen because if you transfer in your last year of law school, it's not a benefit to the school you're going to, because your grades aren't going there. You're literally just spending a semester there just to go to a different semester. So schools normally do not let you in. But the Lord opened two doors for me. The Lord allowed me to either go to Indiana or go to Seattle U. So even though against all odds, I still got two opportunities and I ended up going to Indiana. And when I was there, I ended up being able to take out and have a scholarship that covered my full tuition, full housing, and everything on top of that. Wow. And I also, this time I did go without a plan, but with the Lord. I drove all the way to Indiana without an apartment. And when I got there a couple of days in, like the Lord, I was kind of being stubborn. I was like looking for a 1 bedroom, and the Lord was telling me like look for a 2 bedroom. And I was like, that makes no sense. But I ended up doing it, and I ended up getting a discounted 2 bedroom that was a 5-minute walk from the front of law school. And everyone was so confused there because you have to buy, it's a college town, so you have to buy your apartments like in advance because they go really quickly. And so everyone was so confused how I got that apartment. It was a perfect apartment. I ended up being able to have my parents come visit. It was just amazing experience. I loved Indiana. I would go to class and then just crave to be home so I could just pray and just watch service. It was an amazing time period. Man. Okay, then I got back here. And then the bar study started. I'll explain the exam. It's a 2-day exam. It's 6 hours for each day. 3 hours, then lunch, then 3 hours. For the first day, you do 6 essays in the morning, and then the second half you do 2 like long like briefs kind of. And then the second day you do 100 multiple choice in the morning and 100 multiple choice at night. So it's like a draining test. But bar study was very difficult at first. Like I thought that I would be fine. I had gotten prophecy from mom that the Lord wanted me to be a lawyer, that there was firms I was going to open.
I'm seeing you. There's gonna be a time where you're a law firm. I'm seeing a big tree that has a lot of leaves. It's because each leaf qualifies for a person who God will send under your care. So be that strong tree so that people will receive justice. If there's one thing the Holy Spirit is for, is to bring justice. And so you should pray for that spirit of Deborah to be that one that people will look for and say, we have heard of a woman. She's a spirit founded. She knows the word of God. When she goes there, she will not be intimidated to protect who we are. May you recover what you need.
I just need, work hard and I'll pass. Yeah, I did not pass. And I was so devastated because I didn't even want to look at the next one because I was just in shock. I was like, how could this be? I was like, I gave my everything, I gave my all, like why? And then actually right after I got the news that I didn't pass, I got a prophecy and mom was like, I'm seeing it will take 2 or 3 times. And I was like, oh, amazing. 2 or 3 times, exactly what I wanted to hear. But I learned a lot from the Lord and about what am I giving to Him? What am I willing to sacrifice? As much as you work hard, as much as you water the seed, as much as you lay it in perfect soil, it's the Lord that allows something to grow. Yep. It's the Lord that gives it life. And so as much as you want something, as much as you desire it, if the Lord has not backed it, it will not happen. And so I really learned a new level of submission in that season. Eventually, I grinded for the second one, and again, I did not pass. And this time, my heart wasn't fully in it. But that season was also not short of a lesson.
After I failed the second time, I was able to see more clearly how the Lord was helping me get rid of having my law career or the bar passing be an idol of my heart, and how I had been replacing the desire that the Lord had over my life with my own personal desire. He knows that the destinies He's given us will always be better than the destinies that we think that we want for ourselves. So when it starts to appear like we may crave or replace something of this world with who He's called us to become, He will teach us a lesson out of love. So, what it taught me is that the things that I wanted of this world or I thought were a component of my worth are so minuscule in comparison to the destiny that the Lord already gave us and the ways that He wants to use us as a vessel.
So I went to take it a third time. This time it's like I didn't feel defeated, but I was like, I've been here before. I know the building you take it in, I know the room you take it in, I know all these things. The application process this time around was not good. First of all, normally all through law school except for my first semester, I got accommodations to do my testing because that's how traumatized I was my first semester of law school they ended up granting me accommodations. So I would take the test in time and a half. So this time around, I did not get my accommodations granted. They didn't grant it to me, and on top of that, they tried to make it so I couldn't use my laptop. They were like, "You're handwriting it." That one I had to petition because I was like, "That's not gonna work." So you're gonna have to let me use my laptop. And I just like studied for the last 4 weeks before my exam. Took the exam, didn't really know how I felt about it, and actually mid-test the second day, so I have only one section left. I got into my car and I literally was just crying. And I was like, I don't even think I can take this last section. I was like, I've done this so many times and I don't have it in me. And it actually in that moment, I testified before, but Apostle had texted me right in that moment, and she was like it is well. She literally texted me, it is well. I'm like, I haven't even explained anything. And she's like, whatever you're going through. And I'm like, what? She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like in between my exams. And she's like, do not worry. And she's just like pouring into me. And so I just went and I finished that exam strong. After you're done with the exam, you have to submit it. But you don't submit it in the room because they don't have Wi-Fi. So you're supposed to go home and submit it. But normally, because I got accommodations, they provide Wi-Fi in the room, so you just submit it then. Well, this time, since I didn't have Wi-Fi, I wasn't used to that, so I forgot to submit the exam. And so the period when you're supposed to submit it ended, and I didn't submit it. And then they have a grace period that they don't talk about. I guess it's just for like people like me, that like didn't submit it. And so they're like calling me, but I'm not answering. So I'm like, why is this random number calling me? I'm like, I'm not answering that. But then they called me so many times that like 5 minutes before 5, I was like, okay, let me just answer. And they're like, you have 5 minutes to submit your exam, otherwise we're not like looking at this exam. I'm like, whoa. So I'm like freaking out trying to submit it. I ended up submitting it time. Now when people are asking, like, how do you think you did? I was so disconnected. I'm just like, the Lord's will be done. Like I'm not even gonna cast my opinion on it.
In this last season, I learned that the Lord will do whatever it takes for His glory to be seen, whether that's your enemies prevailing, whether that's taking it an exam multiple times, whether that's stripping away any worldly accommodations, whatever it needs to be, so that you can never think that it was you and can only truly see that it was Him. He will do it. He wants you and everyone else to know that it is not by your might. It is not by your work. It is not by your anything. It is truly from Him alone.
Today the exam results came out, and I passed. And so I've been reading Samuel, and in the first chapter, it says how much Hannah prayed for Samuel. And when the Lord gave Samuel to her, she just waited until the baby was done with breast milk, and then she gave it back to the Lord. And so these are my exam results, and I just want to give it back to the Lord.